Hello everyone, this is Mr. E and today's lesson is all about exponents. Our objective is you'll be able to write and evaluate expressions using exponents. This lesson is really about repeated multiplication of the same factor. That's what exponents are. All right, so our essential question is how can we write and find the value of expressions involving exponents? So here we have 8 to the power of 3, 8 to the third power, or 8 cubed. 3 is our exponent. 8 is our base, or as we'll find out, it's really our factor. And what the exponent tells us is how many times to repeat that factor. That's all exponents really are. Let's get started. An exponent in base shows repeated multiplication of the same factor. And that same factor is the base. For example, 8 to the third power says take 8, multiply it by itself 3 times. Take the factor 8 and multiply it by itself 3 times. Again, the 3 is our exponent, the 8 is our base, or think of it as the factor. And the exponent says multiply 8 by itself 3 times. As I mentioned earlier, 8 to the third power is read 8 cubed, or 8 to the power of 3, or you can even say 8 to the third power. However, please note, 8 to the power of 3 is not 8 times 3 equals 24. A lot of people make that mistake. As a matter of fact, that's the most popular mistake, if you will, made with exponents. 8 to the power of 3 does not mean 8 times 3. It means 8 times 8 times 8. Did I say that 3 times? 8 times 8 times 8. Yep, that's it. All right. So just to make sure we're clear. Now there are 2 ways you look at it. There's a exponential or standard form when you write the exponent and the base. And then there's the expanded form when you actually write out the multiplication. Our base, again, is a factor that is multiplied by itself. And the exponent just tells you how many times to repeatedly multiply the base by itself. Do not multiply the base by the exponent. All right, let's do a few problems here. So it says write 5 to the power of 4 in expanded form. Didn't say give me the value, it just says write it in expanded form. So that would be 5 to the power of 4 is 5, the factor 5, or the base 5, multiplied by itself 4 times. 5 to the power of 4 is not equal to 5 times 4. Please don't make that mistake. All right, now we're saying evaluate. Remember, we're writing and evaluating. So we wrote it in expanded form. Now we want to evaluate, or find the value. How much is 5 to the power of 4? I'm going to write out again and start multiplying. 5 times 5 is 25. All right, so now I have to multiply 25 times 5. I'm going to come over here. 25 times 5, I believe it's 125. Now I'm going to take 125 and multiply that by 5. $625. So 5 to the power of 4 is equal to 625, not 20. Big difference. Okay, so use exponents to write each expression in exponential or standard form. So this is 12. So this number is the same, so that must be our base. How many times we multiply it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times. So it's 12 to the power of 5. And this can also work with fractions. Now I said whole number exponents, not whole number bases. So that would be 2 to the third power. I'm sorry, 2 thirds to the power of 3. Okay. So one quick note before we break, then we'll do this in 2 videos. There are basically 2 rules you need to understand with basic exponents. And rule number one is any number to the power of 0 is equal to 1. So 5 to the power of 0 equals 1. If I had 1,000,000, that would be 100,000. Let's make it 100,000 to the power of 0. I still get 1. Any number to the power of 0 is 1. You got to remember that. Also, all numbers basically have an exponent. So if I put 10, you can say that's the same thing as 10 to the power of 1. It makes sense, right? Because it means 10. I don't multiply it by itself. It's just 10. If I said 10 squared, that's going to be 10 times 10. See the difference? 10 to the power of 1 is just 10. So you can write any number to the power of 1. Most times you won't see it. However, it will come in handy later on when you're dealing with laws of exponents. So anyway, I think that's enough for right now. We'll come back and practice in the next video. You have the notes. Why don't you go ahead and finish that and then just come back and see the answers. Talk to you soon.